Hi guys, little impromptu video. If you've been paying attention to my Goodreads, you know that I've been trying to read this book since September. I finally finished it. I had to do the read one chapter of Serena, read one chapter of another book to get through it. Okay, first of all, the book is wonderful. It's really intense. Serena by Ron Rash is now a movie starring Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence. Starting from the beginning. So the book opens on a scene with Serena and George Pemberton. They got married, and he's bringing her back to his lumber thing, like their timber mill working thing. They cut down trees and yeah. And then they live their lives with their little timber company. And they have to struggle with National Parks organization that's trying to take the land from them that they're cutting the trees down on and turning it into a national park. That's their main problem for most of the book. Problem number 2, Pemberton shacked up with this young thing before he married Serena. She get pregnant and she has a kid. Like, actually, I think she's just pregnant at the beginning. I don't think she's actually had the kid yet. Rachel, who's, I think, like late teens, she and her father confront Pemberton and his new wife about the fact that she is like 8 months pregnant or whatever. Serena says, "We don't want anything to do with you. So if you don't ask us for money, then we're not gonna ask you for the kid, and we're just gonna separate and you take care of the child and we move on with our lives." Rachel's father, like, challenges Pemberton to a duel, and her father's like 50 and Pemberton's like 25, but he challenges Pemberton to a knife fight, I believe, and Pemberton kills him, and Rachel is now fatherless and motherless, and she has to try and raise this child on her own. So Rachel has her son Jacob and goes back to work for Pemberton at the timber thing. I think she's like a waitress kind of for the men that work there. And she has this widow who is helping her support the baby because she has no idea how to take care of a child, obviously. And she lives in her father's old place and she just struggles for money. That's pretty much it. But let's go over the characters really fast, so you have like a background as to why this thing is so screwy. Serena and Mr. Pemberton are the main characters. Serena is this like ideal woman, like she's super sexy and she's horny all the time, and she wants to spend her life committed to Pemberton in an almost creepy kind of way. Yeah, she's just like this totally badass chick. She like hunts, she wears pants, which is like unheard of. Oh, it's like set in the 20s, 30s. She can like best any of the men at anything. She knows the ins and outs of the timber companies like nobody's business. She negotiates with like other companies and investors, and like she's awesome. Mr. Pemberton is like a ladies' man, and he's supposed to be like the ideal physical male, like tall, strong, intelligent. That's pretty much it about Pemberton. At the beginning of the book, they have quite a few like little managers of different things. The biggest one is a man named Galloway, who gets his hand cut off in a freak accident during the logging bit of the job. Sheriff McDowell is the sheriff in town, and he's the only one that's not like bought out by the Pembertons. I'm really not sure about anything that happens in this book because I was thoroughly confused the entire time I was reading it. Okay, so Serena like learns of the whereabouts of Rachel and Jacob. My notes on the subject. I'm not going to talk about the plot anymore because I'm just going to give stuff away at this point. The writing style of this book really aggravated me. It's weirdly worded. Punctuation is makes it really hard to read and decipher some things. It's just really confusing. No, I really don't like it. A lot of rules were broken in the writing of this book, and I didn't like it, and it makes it difficult for me to process and understand things. I have to reread sentences just to figure out where emphasis needs to be where, and what part is an independent clause, and it's crazy, and I didn't like it at all. So Rachel, the pregnant teenager, I did not sympathize with her as far as her being a single mother. She knows where babies come from. She entered into a sexual relationship with a man without using protection. She should have, she did this to herself, kind of. I also feel that he should have been providing some protection there if he didn't want a child, but whatever. But I don't feel sympathy for her on that end. I feel like this happened, you suck it up and be there for your child. However, all the stuff that happens because of the child, I feel super sorry for her. I feel really bad about like the last third of the book. Serena weirds me out. Like just creeps me, shivers up the spine. Freaky Halloween kind of scariness. I just don't like her. There's like a nerve that her character strikes Pemberton. At the beginning of the book, I was just like slightly irritated with him. And then I got a little bit more than slightly irritated with him, and then I just felt bad for him, like, for the last half of the book. He totally got saddled with a crazy, and, he's married to her. She's crazy. You get divorced. She's just gonna kill you or do weird things. I don't know. She just freaks me out. Bloody. Big thing. A lot of people die in horrifying accidents. It's not really gory once you get past the first couple of pages. And then there's like a couple other injury instances that are a little gross, but it's not like gory, it's just accident filled. One of the things that I really liked about this book is that it played on my emotions. Obviously, I thoroughly enjoyed or was creeped out or hated characters. Awesome job at that, but I didn't like the creepy feelings. Towards the end of the book, like the last maybe 5 or 6 chapters were really tense for me, and I think it's because I read them pretty much in quick succession, and then of course this morning I just like busted it all out. But I was like physically sweating, and like I feel really gross right now just because I read this book. Like I feel like I did a really intense workout. Like I was sweating and I was like breathing hard. Like there were physiological reactions happening inside me. I was physically scared, and that doesn't happen hardly ever. And that's one of the reasons why I gave this book a 5 out of 5. Apart from the author's writing style, I did like the descriptive bits and stuff like that. Let me see. So definite 5 out of 5. I would recommend this to adults. That's it. There is a little thing at the very end, and I had a lot of people actually, like this little coda. I had a friend who read this before me, and she didn't read it, the coda. So she thought that it was like not part of the book, and she just kind of skipped it. But you have to read that. That's like the biggest thing for the whole thing. It's just it's a coda. It's a little summary of like things that happen afterwards. I have all my links down below for whatever. Please give me a thumbs up or subscribe or whatever. Open for suggestions for more books. If you've seen the movie or if you've read the book, please tell me about your experience and if it was as nerve-wracking for you as it was for me. So thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in a very short period of time, hopefully just a couple of days.